Welcome to another episode of KISS Principles of Chemistry. For this lesson, we're going to learn about empirical formula and how to take the percent composition and write it into a formula that has the lowest ratio. So for this example, we have a compound that has carbon with an unknown subscript. We also have hydrogen with another unknown subscript, nitrogen with a third unknown subscript, and oxygen with another unknown subscript. So we know it will be composed of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. And we need to find out what ratio or mole ratio these will be part of. When we're working with empirical formula, we only know the percentages. We don't necessarily know the mass of the compound. So in this example, since our percentages equal 100%, we can just go ahead and use 100 grams to make this easier for math. So 49.5% of 100 grams would give us 49.5 grams. And for hydrogen, we have 5.1%, so this is equal to 5.1 grams. And nitrogen, we have 28.9%, so we will say 28.9 grams. And for oxygen, we will say we have 16.5 grams. After we've done this, we need to find out what is the ratio of each of these compounds in this molecule. So for this step, we will go ahead and we will add or divide by the mass from the periodic table. So for carbon, it is 12.01 grams per mole. And for hydrogen, it's 1.01 grams per mole. And for nitrogen, we have 14.01 grams per mole. And for oxygen, we have 16.0 grams per mole. So notice in this example, our grams will cancel and we will be left with just moles as our unit. When we divide these, our moles of carbon are going to be equal to 4.12 moles, and our moles of hydrogen will be equal to 5.0 moles, and our moles of nitrogen will be equal to 2.06 moles, and our oxygen will be equal to 1.03 moles. Now this tells us how many moles we have of each compound, but we want to find out the ratio. So we need to compare them to the one that has the least. So in this case, our moles of oxygen is the least number of moles. So what we will do next is we will divide each of these moles by the lowest mole ratio. Now it's time to divide. Notice our moles will cancel and we will be left with no units, and these will become our subscripts. So in this case, for carbon, we end up with 4. Hydrogen, we come out to 4.85, which we are going to go ahead and round that up to 5, and I'll talk about when we decide to round. Nitrogen, we have 2, and oxygen, we have 1. So when we're rounding up to a whole number, as long as it is within 0.15 of a whole number, we will go ahead and round it either up to a whole number or down. But if we are not, if we're within 0.25 or 0.33, then we need to multiply all those numbers to get a whole number. So in this case, we will go ahead and use the formula as C4H5N2NO1. This is the lowest whole number ratio we can get, and this is what we call the empirical formula.